Awakening is not what you think. You've heard me say this before, but it bears repeating. In the last 2 days, I've had a very similar conversation with two different people who started to feel the ground underneath them start to fall. The actuality of awakening is simply beyond the constraints of the way our minds put together reality. The way we perceive ourselves, the way we perceive the world, and the relationship between the two is minuscule compared to the actuality of what starts to shift when you feel awakening coming. It's just altogether beyond you. Now, the reason I say this is that it's very easy to hear me say again and again, it's non-conceptual, it's nothing you can imagine or think about. And even that, you're going to hit a fear barrier at some point. It's easy to hear me say that again and again, and it just gets assimilated into the mass of knowledge that we have that we think represents how reality actually functions. When awakening starts to move in your life, or forget the word awakening, when the living truth starts to seep up from the cracks, it's destabilizing to that entire paradigm. This is why I'm careful not to push people too early and sense into what they're really interested in and how much they can handle at a given moment. But when the gloves come off and they really start to feel what's at stake, that when I say awakening is a complete transformation in what you take yourself to be, and it's not a lateral transformation. What you take yourself to be is disrupted. It's disintegrated, actually, and something far more vast than can be imagined, understood, conceptualized, steps forward, or presents itself. There's no good way to talk about this. But understand that when you engage this process, you're in contact with forces that are very, very powerful. And this is why I really encourage people to sit with what they're interested in doing when they start to engage spirituality, or especially any kind of practice geared toward awakening, like a koan or inquiry or self-inquiry. Even using those kinds of modalities, you can kind of keep it in the safe space of conceptuality for a while. But if you keep at it, something will start to awaken, and it won't be you. So understand that this is a very, very powerful movement, and it's amazing how much it surprises people even when they have a lot of knowledge about this topic and subject, and a lot of experience, and even some insight. When the ground really starts to come out from under you, it's just very surprising. I'm often asked, are you sure this is supposed to happen? I've never been through anything like this. I've never felt anything like this. If you haven't been through it, you might be wondering what I'm talking about specifically, and it's not even an experience that I could put in a category for you. Saying it's fearful or terrible or sublime or wondrous or mysterious. All of those words sort of point in the right direction, but again, it's beyond any paradigms of how we're used to thinking about reality by definition. So there's just no words for it. But you damn well know something very fundamental is shifting. So the reason I made this video is twofold. One is, if you're really willing to get leverage on yourself, on your mind, on your sense of identity, you're willing to really, really dig in. And not only is it the most important thing to you, you're willing to do what it takes and go through what you have to go through to cross over, then you're in a very good place. But be willing to be surprised. And at this point, you might as well completely let go of any ideas you have about this, even about what you think you're going to get out of it or why you want it in the first place. Just keep on. On the other hand, if you're not sure this is what you're interested in, you're not sure if awakening is really what you're after, then sit with that for a while. Ask yourself what it is you really want. There may be other things in life you want to pursue before this. You may want to chase some other goals or chase some other desires and actualize those in your life and see, did that satisfy you at the deepest level? Sometimes we just have to go address these things, these drives, and fulfill them and see, is that what I really wanted? Or was that a surrogate for something deeper? Something that is beyond my own capacity to seek and find it. Something that I have to give myself to so fully that what I take myself to be is stripped away, revealing something far more primordial, indescribable, vast, sublime. So as always, I recommend starting with authenticity. Be real with yourself and address your deepest yearning. And if that doesn't satisfy you, keep digging. At some point, if you're willing to remain in authenticity, you'll probably realize that you have to go beyond yourself.